Good morning, peoples. What up, Rob? How you doing, Ralph? My man, John Parham. Salute, brother. Good to see everybody this morning. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day in the neighbors. Could you be mine? Could you be mine? Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I used to love that song. You know what's stupid about that is that I didn't discover Mr. Rogers until I was in my 20s. I had no idea such a thing existed. I'd seen the skit that Eddie Murphy did, and I thought he was making something up, and I still thought it was hilarious, but I had no idea that was a real guy. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Nicest guy that ever lived. Hey, Annie, how you doing? Let's see what we got. Boom. Microphone check, microphone checker, microphone check, microphone checker. I'm good, Annie, thank you. John Parham, how you doing today? Rob, how you doing today? And the legendary Ralt, how are you, sir? Just the goggles. Get some fuel. Glad to hear y'all are good. The back scratcher turned out good. Got a little void in here, though. A little hole as a result of the joinery. But, man, that's good stuff. Just drawing. Oh, awesome. Love drawing. Thanks, Annie. I'm doing great. Thanks for the necklace compliment. Wes, will wood glue stick a copper inlay? Yeah. Yeah, I will. Jesse. What up, Jesse? This is how I'm gonna start giving people dap now. When I see you in the chat, I'm like, what up? Boom, 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 boom. All right, let me slide that bad boy in a convenient place. I am considering making another knife today, but I think I need to make me, for me, a little bit bigger version of this. Fetty spaghetti. Yes. The coffee is spectacular this morning. I'm already done almost with it. Look, I got a little swallow left. Exquisite. Jennifer, damn, look at the mucles. The muclase. Just kidding. Ooh. Look at the belly. Let me tuck it. There we go. There we go. Now we just adjust the camera. How you doing today, Fetty? You see that more kitties got posted on the community page? I love that I have several cat people in my community. I love that. Because cat people are good people. They just are. Um, I've had a couple of requests about some very specific knife builds, and one of them was really good, like a really good idea because it's a beautiful knife. Um, so I may try to copycat a version of that knife. My grandkids call me Belly Rhonda. Oh my God. Oh, oh shucks. I'm a bit late this morning, says Fetty. One of my cats got into the pantry, so I had to take care of that. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that my wife's cats were mature before they even got to me. They were chill, don't jump on the table, don't beg for food, don't do any of you were never going to have nice couches until they're gone. That's the reality of our house. But other than that, they're fantastic. They don't get into. You can put a plate of salmon on the floor in front of them, and they won't touch it. If you break off a little piece and you walk it over to the dish and you drop it in there, they'll come over and eat it. Lucky Strike, my day is fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Other than this temperature is still dumb. It's still going to be 30 degrees tonight, which means I still can't pour my concrete, which means I'm here with y'all. But I love that about this part of it. But it don't pay as good as swinging my hammer. It don't. But we're going to work on that. We're going to work on that. I'm over on the couch and let me see. I'm allowed on the couch, and if I definitely beg for food, I'm just untrained. That's funny, Ross. Hey, Patrick. How you doing? How you doing? All right, we'll clean up a little bit of this so that we can actually get going on something. We're going to basically base our build today on the scrap wood we've got and what it'll inspire us to do. This is definitely on the table. This should be on a situation like that, which is this used to be one of those. This needs to be now one of these. I love that little blade. Very convenient on the pendants. And I really want to make my own wife a pendant. I can't think of what it should be. Can't think of what it should be. I just can't think of anything cool. And that is a shame. That's the damnable shame of it all. Is that my pendant Wu-Tang? Yes. This is absolutely a Wu-Tang pendant. Don't tell Jizza, RZA, or Meth. And I'm not selling them. Not selling them. If I do, I'm gonna make sure Bobby Digital gets his cut, and then we can Wu-Tang it together. You know what I mean? Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. W for West. Yo, for real, I almost hijacked this logo for the West Desert. And I was like, man, what if I blow up and then I look like a biter? You know what I mean? So I decided not to. I'm a graphic designer by degree, but I've never been able to come up with my own logo. In 30 plus years out of college, I've still never been able to pull it off. Just in case I forget my name, yeah, just have a name tag on me. I also might need uh, something else so that I don't forget my place. I tend to do that too. I recently discovered, you might have noticed in a couple of my shorts, that Prof did a whole song with Method Man. He did a whole song with Redman. I'm like, this dude. And I'm already rocking with Prof. I think he's dope. I like when somebody's willing to do something unique and still put some funk on it. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to him. Plus, got to be an ambassador for Minnesota right now. Because they out there wilding, man. They out there wilding. Un momento. All right, let me start. Makes me proud of my state. Yeah, 100%, Fetty. 100%. The boy gets down. I was the actual mayor of Minnesota. Oh, Wes, I have a question for you if you don't mind. Today will be gluing my table back together. I'm thinking I want to put a dark walnut strip down the center. You think I should do cherry? Hmm. Hmm. Do you have both already where you can like look at them? Because I would definitely, whichever one, I'd wet it and I'd sit it right there and take a look at it. Because I've never done a side by side comparison and not been able to immediately make the decision. The fact that you're torn means that probably either one will work, at least in the very least in your imagination. But if I had the possibility to do it, I'd just kind of sit them next to each other and see which one triggers the feelings. Want something to say. I took it apart. It's made out of red oak. Mm. Red oak and cherry, or red oak and walnut. Let's see. I think I've got some red oak close by. Ugh. Do I have some walnut? Yeah, got a little walnut. Do I have some cherry? I think this is cherry. Ugh. That is black walnut. That is red oak. And I'm not sure if that's cherry. I don't think it is. I know I've got some confirmed cherry. It's just small. Oh, oh. I do have some cherry. So let's see. That's cherry. It's got this little stain on it, but it's still cherry. So if I had cherry next to that, I would say that's nice. I would say that's nice. Let's put some magua on it, and that'll give us an idea of what it'll look like with a finish. So that cherry looks pretty close to that red oak color-wise. So you would probably get more of a texture change than a color change, maybe. With a walnut, you'd be getting contrast. Let's get the walnut damp. Ugh. So that's the black walnut. And there you'd be getting some real contrast in the two colors. This is, if this helps, this is cherry and black walnut. Whew. Put a finish on it. Still dusty as heck. Put a little moisture on it. Just liven it up. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's a maple and black walnut, but it would be similar to what a cherry would look like against it. It would be very contrasty. So these are the same two materials. Oh no, it's not. That's Padauk on that one. Yeah, that's the only thing I've got with those two woods on it in front of me. But I like the contrast. But I also like that complementary. But I think the walnut would probably be the way I would go. If these colors are true to yours, that's probably where I would want to go with it. Right wing, left wing, they flap the same bird. They're just real relatives to each other, so it's all the same. Just live life for what blesses you with, brother man, says Navin B. Fetty says, yeah, I'm leaning towards a walnut. I already have some nice pale maple that would go in the opposite direction, but I'm leaning towards a darker. I think you're right at Depression Talk. Depression Talk is always right. I'll take some pictures when I head over to it later and then put them up on the community channel for you to see later. Oh, yeah, that would be dope. We would absolutely love that because that's what we be doing over here. Heaven at. Heaven at. So, speaking of walnut and the things that we got here and available to us, I'm going to pull back for a smecket and just make sure that I've got my my chat available to me so I can see all y'all comments and such. It just always takes me a second to find my own channel. I don't know why that is, but it does take me a second to find it. And that's my fault, not YouTube's. Oh snap! Dad's workshop is on. Calvin is over there skinning animals or something today. Interesting, I'm sure. If y'all want to see him, there's an option for you. For those who are the friends of the both. But right now, I got this walnut in front of me. I've got there's two knives that have really been on my spirit to build. One is a partial tang knife that goes straight into a solid handle, which just sounds like a lovely idea to me. And then there is like the knives where you stack the pieces of wood, similar to this, right? And make the handle that way by stacking up various woods, which would be a full tang situation with like at the bottom, I'd have to figure out a way to smack that metal into a mushroom. But, you know, that kind of stuff. It's Pookie says, what's good, Wes? Betty says, love Calvin, I'll pull it up too. Right on, right on. Are the necklaces handcraft? Yes, Navi B. I cut every one of my necklaces by hand. These are all West Desert oreganows. That's a pertinent comment, though, Fetty. It's not politically to talk about human innate rights. What should we expect? And it makes me think and feel, so thank you. All right, Lucky Strike. There you go. Nick Friend Up says, love the suspenders. Got a pair myself, but never use them because I'm holding knives and such. Do I have an EDC? Interesting that you would say that, because that is definitely what we'll be all about over here. Nick, I'm in with those people who wear something similar. Let me show y'all my EDCs. I got a few because I make knives, so I want to carry them around to make sure they're awesome. This is what I've got in my pocket most times. And because I don't, right, I've got, this is funny that this is the day that I don't have a pair of pants on that have this option. But this fits perfectly into a stopwatch pocket. And that's always what I've got on a pair of jeans and slacks, but somehow not these camos. But I could put it down here, but that would just be dumb. But what it does is just slide right out of the sheath, and the sheath slides right into your pocket, stays comfortably in it until you need your knife. And then you just slide the knife out, leave the sheath in, slide the knife back into the sheath. And it would be awkward and weird while I'm demonstrating it. But yeah, that's my EDC. And that's a cherry handle. That'll self. And that is actually black walnut, just for more confirmation, Fitty. But I have recently begun making the leather sheaths. Ugh. And we did this one. This is my first one. Ironically, it's on my very first knife I ever made. But that knife is super sharp. And that's going out into the mail at my next mail run that I send out all my stuff. But that's going to Ruiz because that's my guy. That's my home skillet. All right, let me see. We got to figure out something long enough for this. And we're going to take apart that. And if we, as we do it, we may actually make another one of these because we don't have to heat treat something like this. We would heat treat something that we're intending to cut wood with, but not something that we're going to score wood with. So we may be able to get that whole build done in one shot to that. If I got enough material to do that. Because I like a long handle if I can have one. Or I might have to figure out how to construct one, which might be interesting. Which might also be interesting. Let me see what I got in the scrap pile outside of this stuff. Because it might just force us into this. But if we do this, we're not going to do one of these out of it. We're just going to do probably another knife of some sort out of it. But we shall see. I also did not bend that wood. Had a couple people ask about that. The wood bending had to go on pause because I had to go do some emergency stuff with my steamer at my father-in-law's apartment, who had discovered that he had some bed buggery in the building. So we had to go get him out of there and clean up all of his stuff that was going with us and get the poor guy out of the tragedy. I've got this This is a white oak, and the fingering, I don't know if that's the right word, but you see that little wave in that wood. It's so doggone interesting on every direction. It's so doggone interesting. I love this for handles on mallets. But it's also super strong stuff, and it's long enough to do what I want it to do. Let's see what this wood looks like finished. This is the same stuff, obviously. So maybe that wouldn't make um, a bad. Why am I losing words? Why am I losing words? Maybe because I'm an old ass man. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make one of these out of one of those. We're gonna take this thing apart, and maybe we'll just make another one while we're doing it. We'll make a really narrow. I know that's narrow for a chisel, but look at that. Yeah, that's narrow. But I want one a little narrower than that, so we might as well make one of those too. This is a decent width, more or less. We can thin it down if we got it. Let's decide how we want this to look. We're basically going to mimic that to some degree. Except I think I'm going to make it a little fatter. I'm going to make it a little fatter right here. And we'll keep it around the same size as these, more or less. More or less, more so. I rip your torso. I live a fast life. Come through in the Porsche slow like whoa. Nitro, mic flows, mic go. Nice clothes like whoa. What if we make the most out of this wood and we get some rips? Rip down right here. And we just make another rip right here and let that be that. That way we'll get 3 out of it. So we got to be at least that wide. 2 thick boys and 1 skinny mini. We'll take that over to the table saw and get that done. Great work, says Valine. I appreciate that. What up, Pop? In the building, 666 Mafia. Do I have a video on making replacement hammer mallet handles? I have a lot of videos of actually making them. I don't know that I took one as a replacement, but I've definitely, for the dozen or so mallets that you'll see in this shop, I built every one of them on a live stream. So I would say go back and hunt for a live stream where I'm making one, and maybe you see it there. And there's some shorts where I'm doing it. It's not as thorough on the shorts, but there will be some live streams where I'm doing it. I do all the stuff on live stream. You can just kind of flip through and find it, you know. Pock says, I'm currently doing the same thing with my tools literally right now. Kind of crazy your live popped up. Oh, yeah. Lucky Strike says they are always listening. I'm telling you. But sometimes, you know, birds of a feather. We get on the same vibe sometimes. That definitely happens. For instance, Calvin over there at Dad's workshop, we were thinking of doing the what you call it, so almost at the same time, the steam bending. But he had a more useful project to do it on. Like he had an idea already. I just thought it was cool and wanted to figure it out. But that was awesome because it gave me another means of research. You know what I'm saying? He had done some research. He's a very thorough guy over there. So what I'm doing right now is just checking my fence. These fences will get off on this tool, uh, and it's weird. They kind of click back into place, but you got to check them. You gotta check them. Um, on the fence, the saw itself is usually true, but that fence is it can shift out of gear pretty easily. Right nowadays, there's no such thing as a coincidence. This is facts, man. This is facts. Let's see. Now, this is another thing that's very similar to what's happened over there at that table saw. If your blade cannot shift left, cannot shift right, cannot turn, it can only wobble. You get it tight, you get it adjusted where it's straight, it will stay straight and aligned with these forever. That's why it's so important to get your sleds straight based on these. These slots you can count on to be parallel to the blade. Your fence moves, so you can't count on it, but you can check it with those lines. And what I'll do is set my combination square. I'm gonna get you a little bit closer for this one, just in case you really are paying attention. I'll get my combination square. I'm gonna get you even closer with the power of Zoom while I'm knocking shit down. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about. I put that in there, and then I just turn it. I know I'm parallel. I'm dead flat on the top of this because I dropped it down to it, right? I'm inside of that groove, and now I'm locked in. And I'm just looking at the space between here and there, here and there. I got a little bit of air. I got that same amount of gappage right there, and I'm good. It's taller. This is taller right there. So they're the same. That's good all the way across. Then you're good all the way across. Now you can trust your fence. Now you can trust your fence. We're gonna lock that in, and I don't mind using this thing. I don't know. A lot of people got a problem with the plastic. I don't. All right, I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to lose anybody. I don't want to lose anybody. Let's get it. Let me tell you what prevents accidents with a table saw, like nothing else. See that? That is exactly where my knee is all the time. If I'm operating this saw, my knee has to be here. Has to. I cut the saw off fast, easy, and you have if you build a table, you have to locate this switch here. Something's going on with your hands. You're holding something, something's binding, something's pinching. Boom, boom. It is second nature to me to turn this off with my knee. Consciously, I wouldn't even. I'd never have. I don't even know how to reach down here. I got no muscle memory for this motion, and that's the way it should always be. If you're left-handed, I would suggest you put it over here, depending on whichever way you push your stuff through. But just letting you know that's my number one safety tip for the table saw. Make sure you can shut that thing off fast and easy in an emergency. Now that I've scared everyone, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Come on, right here. Do it. Do it now. My fingers are all the way back here. Nowhere near that blade. Second. Boom. The blade ain't got a chance to throw this back. Nothing. What that's going to do is often leave you a little nipple right here. That is a small price to pay to not get that thing launched back at you. Now we got 3 pieces, relatively slim, cut to perfection, and we're ready to go. Mr. Number says, I like it square and true. 666 says, I need a fence for my table saw right now. I'm using a big clamp and a 2x4. A big clamp is a good idea. The 2x4, not so much. 2x4s, one, are not going to, if they are dead flat and straight, it's not going to stay that way. And you really don't want to bow in your table saw fence, because that is going to pinch wood depending on which way that bow is going. And pinch wood is kicked wood, and kicked wood is a punch in the stomach from a piece of oak, which is no fun. You're better off laminating plywood for that kind of situation, or getting something that you can guarantee dead flat. Which is also the reason I haven't built a big sled for my table saw, is because you got to laminate a couple pieces of wood together to get the best flatness that's going to stay flat. And solid 2x are just not great for that. They're great for building solid things. My bench is built out of them. That's built out of them. Definitely. All those benches are built out of them. But for a fence, hard for that soft material not to want to bow and twist. So take caution. Unfortunately, I can't guarantee it 100% square, so I'm filing like crazy. Yeah, that's feeling like crazy. Yeah, that's what happens though. I'm gonna check FYI if I can relocate my switch. Pat, I love my, like most table saws, they're gonna put that switch there in a convenient place for that. But when you rebuild the device, you got to make sure some of that safety stuff is in place for yourself. It's just the right thing to do, mate. Man, I wish I had a freaking British accent so bad. Like you get like, you get like just a little bit cooler. You just get like a little bit cooler with that accent. I don't know what it is. I think with that accent, go from a 4 to a solid 5. You know what I mean? Solid 5, man. Because, you know, me and Idris Elba are pretty much what and what. Pretty much the same guy, you know. It's just the accent. And him being a foot taller than me. Other than that, same dude, man. We're gonna go over to that table. I'm giving y'all quality hold music. You know what I'm saying? You don't get this just anywhere. Dude's giving you hold music. All right, get out of the way, thing. Sorry about this cord right here. Me stepping over this right here. Let me tell you, don't do this. Don't work over junk laying under your feet. Secure things that should be secure, whatever way you can. For instance, I'm going to use this to hold that cord from getting over here in my way while I cut. Be responsible, people. Don't be like me, young blood. Don't make the mistakes I've made in my life. Stay out of the gangs. Keep your wood working clean, all right? Keep your station neat and orderly, young blood. This I'm gonna have to do some sanding, and that's cool. We're gonna do that on the big sanders, I believe. Hello, Weston, everyone. Says, Pat, what up? They can't copyright these tunes. Says 666. That's right. It's a woodworking jerk pot. Cedar is used for outdoor fences because it holds in wet weather. That went right over my head, says Pop. I keep saying Patrice. It's that 666 thing. You know what I'm saying? I might start calling you Trey 6. I should do voiceovers for real. I am. These are my ridiculous voiceovers. That's part of my channel's entertainment, is that I'm lightweight schizophrenic. I shouldn't say that because there are really schizophrenic people out there. And it's not fun to them. My bad. My joke was not considerate. We're going to hit this button right here. Are you ready for some football? I heard it was football season. Those guys had some game or something coming up. For the footballers.
This white oak is hard stuff. That feels good though. Getting there.
lock it. Lock it a lot. Patrick, Pock says, I love that sander. I have to use files right now, but it works for now. Yeah, files work for sure. For sure. Removing finishes and material from the surfaces in tight spaces with the fine detail control the fine sanding says. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Sorry, I moved my... Sorry, that was Mr. Number 5 saying that. And I had accidentally removed the chat. Removing finishes and materials from surfaces in tight spaces of fine detail control. Fine sanding, for sure. We got all these little bad boys around for that. And we did learn we had to take this thing apart. What happened? Sorry about that, folks. It fell off for a second. What's going on? Oh, snap. We don't have... Weird thing is... Okay, now I'm back. Sorry, we were about to lose power over here. I had to rescue you. Rescue me in your arms. Okay. Ain't you lonely? You know that's a song that you love. And no. So I'm going to just lock that in there. Tighten, loosen it until it's, does that. And then call on Big Dubs for our help. How dare you? I can barely remember how we did this last time. We did those about, 2 weeks ago? I'm gonna have to work that out. It's close though. I've been making burnishing sticks. I haven't tried wood. I'll have to give it a try. That's a good idea. Thought you were pulling wire out of a hot dog at first. You can call me Les if it's easier to remember. Okay. Pock is probably easier, but I'm gonna try it. I like calling people by their names if they prefer it. I've been making burnishing sticks and hadn't tried wool. I'll have to give it a try. Ugh. That ain't coming off as easily as I'd hoped. Let's get ourselves a little more space and grace. I'm just grabbing the edge of that blade snug enough to try to give a tap on that shoulder. Not getting the best results. I swear I don't remember how I did this last time. But I imagine I could just get a chisel, put it up against that shoulder. Also gotta hold that chisel. This is where I need convenient, more convenient circumstances. How do I do this? Like a bottle top opener. Put the blade there, put the thing there. There we go. It worked. Eventually. So now, gotta get that in there. And gotta get that collar on. Now we may be able to do that with the chisels. Or where are our carving knives at? Where are even our fine toolery residing these days? Let's see how these do. First, let's make us a mark. Man, we're almost on there. We don't even need to make a mark. We just need to narrow this whole thing all the way around just a little bit. Almost the thickness of the metal. The thing about oak is it's very hard, but it's also very stable. So it's predictable in the as you're cutting it. And this is white oak, I believe. But I do enjoy that about it, is my point. And because of its hardness, I really hadn't considered oak a good carving wood until I seen some other people make some really nice stuff out of it. I mostly used it for its strength in mallet handles, mallet heads, and stuff like that. But the beauty and usability and workability of it should not be slept on either. Yes, I can usually draw a perfect circle, but that's mostly because anything but a perfect circle sort of aggravates my sensitivities. Gift and a curse. We in there. So, we're not in there super deep, but we are there. Let's give us a little more cuts around this edge, just to Send it back a little further. Now, we gotta find out how to get a hole in that thing. And that's a weird shaped hole, isn't it? That's what we gotta get. So I'm gonna grab a drill bit out of the bit box. The bit box. The bit box. And let's go ahead and get it the length we're going to want it to be as well. Trying to build an inventory of different types, and I can't sell them to friends and family so far. It says pot. Use hardwood for other materials, plastics and other hard stuff, and softwood for leather. I've been carving all sorts of different shapes and sizes. Oh, that's cool. I think I am gonna make like some leather shaping tools. Like I got kind of these things that are automotive tools, really, that can be used for that. But I think it'd be nice to have a nice set once I get into it, you know what I mean? Once I get into it enough to actually produce something fun. Right now we're just going to put a couple drops of the epoxy. Stuff is so good. If you're not doing something like a mallet where you're getting a lot of pressure on a thing, this stuff can really come in handy. Really, really come in handy. Let's see if I can find something to stir it with. There's always some little scraps and shavings around here that we can work with. Yeah. Yeah. So I put these pieces over here to the other pieces. I apologize to anybody who's been in the chat that I haven't acknowledged or seen or spoken with while I was drilling or putting this together. I do apologize. Hopefully I can make it up to you. Like entertaining you, but making something cool. We're making something fun. And then there's a couple people, you know, who are going to be entertained by how wrong I'm doing everything. You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, yeah, that's not how you're supposed to do that. Dude, this guy's no clue. This guy's got no clue what he's doing, dude. This girl's got no clue, bro. Totally not a woodworker. Have you like seen his setup? So ridiculous. So once I get that in there, I make my hole down there just enough where this can get mostly in, and then you know I like to violently thrack it in the rest of the way. Various devices. In this case, I'm going to just set it right there, and so that I can look down on it, see it line up, just so. And that way, when I know it is, give myself some. I can kind of drive it, literally, where I need it to be. It looks good to me. I'm gonna pop a little bit more whatever residual I got of the epoxy. I think I got this one pretty perfect in terms of the amount. That's good. I'll just slide that right over the top of that there. And then I'll use some other tool that I probably shouldn't use to knock that in. This will do nicely. Just to put that cap down snug. Then while that dries up, once that dries up, we can go ahead, give it its final little sand, and then we can work that blade, because that edge needs to be better. But that already feels like a better tool. Looks like a better tool. Way better in the hand with that little dip, a little curvature. And then that little piece right there, like that just kind of holds you. Apologize for the ugliness of my hands, but they make up for it in effort, I think. Thanks for the 52 likes, everyone. I do appreciate that, that you went out of your way to do that. I don't take it light, and I appreciate it. But I also don't take it personal if you don't, you know? So, we'll all live our lives the best way we see fit. What up, Tim Liz? What up, Pat? Hey, my guy, Rob in the building. What are you talking about my accent? Did I even do British today? Maybe I did. It just comes out sometimes. Just comes out sometimes. But it is a wonderful accent. You are wrong about that part of it, though. Accent is spectacular. Hey, Mr. McCall, what the business is, broski? Bam. Give him a pound. Let him know he's still down with me. We made some, still making those little tools, man. We want to make some stuff that works nice and good. So this is a little replacement for the one I sent you. I'm happy with it. Just made that. And, you know, of course, we made these before. I'm really considering doing something with these, but I actually don't mind these. And I haven't had a set of high-end knives like this in my hand. These are not high-end knives, but I haven't had a set of them in my hand enough to know what feels better or worse. So I'm holding off on making new handles for these until I have. But this knife has become exceedingly useful in the leather crafting that I've been doing. So I think I'm going to keep this and get better with it. And then maybe that'll be a knife that I'll make again as a product, because it just does great. I really enjoyed it. Do. And I have been considering making a new sheath for this knife. This one fits great. But even when I made it, it was left with some imperfections here. I think just too much pressure. And this is maple and Purple Heart. So I think I'm going to do Purple Heart and something else for that. Maybe even another maple, but a better, because that sort of ruins the knife for me. Ella says, can I shout out my big bro, Lou Zazzle? He loves your content. It's his birthday. Really? I'm shout out worthy for people's birthdays? Man, that's amazing. Well, shout out you, Lou. Big up to you. Ella, hi, how are you? Fingerstick Scribe says, Pat, nice. Pat knows all the terminology. I love a guy who knows terminology. I don't. I'm not that kind of brain. That's why I'm so fascinated with people who can remember. I can remember processes. It's a weird, like, if I do something with my hands once, I can do it for the rest of my life. So if you show me how to do it the right way, I can get relatively good at something relatively fast. However, I won't remember one piece of the vocabulary. I'll be like, hey, you got to put that thing right there over that thing right there, and then lock that thing in, turn this thing this way, and then put that thing over there. But I will have no memory of the of that part of it, the vocabulary. I got to be around it a lot and hear the vocabulary a lot. And since I'm self-taught in most things, I lack vocabulary in most things that I can do. Sometimes people assume I'm dumb because of it. It's really strange. But sometimes they're right, I guess. Bing bong. What up, Lion-O? Thunder. Thunder. Thundercats. Lion in the building. He got one of the best accents I've ever heard. That dude. I swear, the very first time I saw Lion's channel, I had no idea what he did. He was looking at fish and battling a dude in the chat and was tearing that dude to pieces. And all the while having friendly conversation in between with the other people in the chat. And I thought to myself, that is brilliant. That's a beautiful mind at work right there. But I also discovered he's a master of carving, spoons in particular, but seen some great looking stuff come out of that shop. And Rob is like Lions 2.0. He's like on his way as he learns this woodworking, because Rob's already got tool hands. He already knows some of this stuff just instinctively from being a tradesman. Rob is Depression Talks, by the way. If you take an inventory of who to follow and what channels are great, that's who Rob is, Depression Talks. It's a vibe. You gotta go over there and see it to know what it is. So, same for Lions. It's a vibe. That's what I like, is a channel with a heart and a soul. That's good for me. Lion says, you ain't dumb, you're really good with words. Well, I'm a little dumb. Come on. Man, I'm an apprentice at best, working on getting my mojo back. Oh, bro, you got more mojo than any of us. Like, real talk. Lions is the only guy I've ever seen have to kick women out of his chat because they won't stop flirting at him. It's insane. Like a handsome guy with fantastic hair and a great accent. It's insane. Like he's like a British Fonz. Oh, well, maybe, I don't know if I should call y'all British. I don't know the difference. I don't know if there is a difference, but I always feel like I'm saying something wrong when I just say British. Hello, how are you learning English and English courses? I'm listening to you practicing listening skills. Thank you, bro. Oh, I appreciate that. I hope I'm not ruining it too bad for you. Lion says he apologizes if he's been unpleasant to be around lately. And, bro, you're a real guy. And you're being vulnerable enough to let us see your vulnerabilities. That's a gift. It's a gift. It's not something that you should apologize for. You could have told us all to piss off and disappeared. You kept on coming around motivating. And we appreciate you. We do. And you're one of the few YouTubers who is equally entertaining when you're upset, because you will trash the trolls. Like, you stand in your power, bro. I love it. I love it. Carnage in the building. What's up? Yep, I'm British and English from the UK. Right on. We good. We good, Carnage. How you doing, man? What you up to? And what you up to, Pat? Did you get out of that snow yet? Some of that junk melting yet? We're supposed to have some warming coming up over here. 63 likes, and I got 68 people in the building. That's what's up. You know who's a real dick is that Carnage guy. He's a real a-hole, says Carnage. Hey, if anybody knows. Carnage is Peter Pan. He is a forever young guy. He looks like he's 15 years old. Like Fountain of Youth over there. It's still minus 11 here. We're getting a blank ton of more snow. Oh no. To be Canadian, right? It's crazy. Why did you choose this life, Carnage? Why? Brother. Ew. Ew, brother. Why did you choose that life? I look young, but I got a blank ton of gray hair. I feel you. Listen, my hair departed dearly a long time ago. They were like, you know what? You're 24 years old. Why don't you look 42 right now? Boom. And then I've been 42 since I was 24. Now that I'm 52, I can pass for 42. America's accepted baldness. So now I'm on the 120 grit, and y'all can see I'm still knocking off stuff. We want things that we hold regularly in our hand to be as comfortable as possible from every side, from every angle, from every direction, so that we grab the tools we're supposed to grab for the tasks that we have. Nobody grabs an uncomfortable tool. People work around tools that aren't comfortable or pleasant to hold. I have learned that in my days. And I am also shaping all of these handles at the backs different, right? This one is getting a slightly different sort of shape, right? But that's so that I can replace some of these tools with these tools, like the back sides of them. Otherwise, they're just floating out there. They're useless. But now I can do something with this. I can mold leather with that. That's a different profile. That's a different profile. And that's a different profile. So I feel like I can do some stuff with them. And if I can't, no harm, no foul. But that's going to be fantastic. That's a nice back scratcher you made there, Wes. Thanks, Carnage. Appreciate that, buddy. High five. That's the handle. Actual wooden joinery for a back scratcher. Gotta go. Love the stuff. Really like your knives. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for coming out. Tim got some dope stuff happening on his channel right now, too. Go check him out if you get a chance. Tim List over there. And y'all feel free, if you are in the chat and I mention your channel, please post a link. I don't really even know how to do that. But if you do it, I got no problem with you. If you got a blue name in this chat, then you got a name that you can post your stuff on. K. McCall says, I smell older than I look. Okay. That's funny. This was a fun build. This is a useful thing. That's how old I am, is that I'm excited about this, the back scratcher. Like, yeah, the knives are cool. I mean, it's nice. But you can't scratch your back with it. I mean, you could. Then you'll have to call somebody else to come fix the scratches. Stitch those scratches back up. Carter says, I got 4 of them now. Just been collecting chainsaws lately. Wow. What are you doing with them? Well, like firewood, obviously. Yep. I guess you need that for sure, for sure. Yo, now this link that Mr. McCall just dropped right there for y'all, that's his YouTube channel. Over there you will find spectacular examples of beautiful woods like this. This is a dyed maple burl, I believe. He sent that to me. And that's how I was able to make this handle so beautifully. Not to brag on myself, but that's a beautiful piece of wood there. He also sent me the wood that I needed for the handle and the sheath here for this knife. And you should see the amazing things he does with earrings over there. Listen, if you got a girlfriend or wife, or somebody that wears earrings, I promise you, you are not going to find nicer stuff than you're going to find over there. I promise you won't find anything more original or nicer made than what he's doing over there. Rob says, I paid his live a visit a couple days ago. Yeah, it's super chill over there, man. Super chill over there. Snow still dropping off the roof, says Pat. Oh my God, that's crazy. Carnage says, I've been cutting lots of firewood. MS 250s is one of my favorite saws. Now with my 18-inch 810 bar on it. Nice. That means very little to me as I don't know jack about chainsaws, but rock on, buddy. Rock on, buddy. Excuse me, y'all. I'm over here trying to put this lavender incense in the air. Right now, I got 3 screens going because I'm trying to see which monitor will keep up with me. It looks like my phone will, but my monitor up there will not. It still means MS250, lots of power. Okay. Nice. Nice. I think we are probably dry. We are sanded down to 120. We're going to go ahead and hit it with the 220 and then call it done. And I might come back and stain this one later, though. It don't really have all the zhuzh and pizzazz that I like for my tools to have, because I'm a diva. I'm a diva. But I do like that grain pattern on it, though. I picked this particular piece of wood out of a pile because it was stand out different. I was like, that ain't the same stuff as that stuff, is it? That's the same price as that stuff? Give it to me. But as we grow and learn about different woods and things like that, we learn that some of this stuff is exotic because it's rare or difficult to get or regional. And some of this stuff is not so rare, but can be some of the best stuff to build with. That's what I'm finding out about this white oak. Pretty common in my parts. But if you take some time to let that grain do what it's supposed to do, you can still get some nice pieces out of it. But people don't often want to take the time that it takes to do the little stuff. Like to go all the way down the sanding chart to get the maximum benefit of it. And admittedly, I was one of those people. I have seen the light, friends. I'm a changed man. And you too can be a changed man or woman by hitting that like button. Donate to the House of West. Open arms, brother. Open your arms and your pocketbooks. Won't you be a part of it? Won't you be a part of what we got going on? Now, I think I am going to sharpen this. Do Agent Alexander, what's going on? Where's the salute to everyone in the chat? How you doing today, buddy? I appreciate you coming through. Da-da-da. You got some hawthorn to shine like an 8-ball. I gotta see that, Lions. Have you I'm sure you did something on your live. And I'm sure you gave us a short or something of it. I'd go back and see it if you didn't. All right, let me glove up my hands. I'm gonna get into some water. The baby and the dog are barking at a dog going by together. Agent says T.O.'s comical corner advice was comical, Wes. Yes, it was. It was. But that's not the first time T.O.'s dad has done that. For those who don't know, we're talking about Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson this past weekend, which was just an incredible fight, one for the ages. Whenever people talk about Shakur Stevenson's accomplishments, Teofimo Lopez is going to be on top of the list from now on, and I'm glad. So, yeah, his dad was in his corner giving him advice like, you gotta hit him harder, bro. Try to knock this dude out. Stop letting him win. It was crazy. It was insane. I never seen anything like it. Talk about getting a free check. That dude ain't have to earn a nickel of his part of the purse. Showed up plastered and stayed that way. When they interviewed him, he wasn't doing what I was telling him to do. Oh no, he wasn't changing up and winning the fight. He didn't just start being faster and stronger. Try to knock him down. I know this is counterintuitive, people, but I'm just getting my flat right now. Because I haven't put the business to this tool yet. So this is its first time actually getting the works. Truthfully, this might be the way to go. Oh, I got y'all in my face instead of this. Doing good and working hard as usual, says Pat. Oh, Bug is in the building. How you doing? Yeah, Bug was over there doing some live art for us the other day. Yesterday. Doing an owl. I think she was doing marker. Watercolor marker. But very nice. All right. Now we will move on to the actual effort at Sharp for this thing. In this event, I think I'm going to just trail my edge. This is such a short, narrow little edge to get. I'm worried I might round it over if I go edge first. We'll move up to the 1000 grit. Now that I think we got ourselves where we want to be. Oh no, that's not bad. If I can maintain that, let me move my hand back and keep my angle nice. Looking bad. Let's go ahead and move up then. Go to the 3000 grit. See if we can make it quake. Pilato says, I'm lazy. I only go up to 1200 grit. Well, it also depends on what kind of sharpening system you're using. Because a diamond 1200 grit is not the same as a whetstone 1200 grit. It's a much finer circumstance. And at 1200 grit, if you're not sharp yet, you're not going to be sharp going forward. That's just sort of how that works. So 1200 grit will do it in a lot of cases. In some, you might have to sharpen more often, maybe, but depending on the system you're using. I've sharpened enough to say I'm familiar, but not enough to say I'm an expert. And I also say, if it's getting what you need accomplished, right on. That's the end of that conversation. You know what I mean? So that was the 3000 all the way up to the 8000, and hopefully we got something good going on. We will get the strop out, probably a little baby strop. Let me get some of this water off the desktop. And then we'll strop this little doohickey. See if we can get some legit sharpness out of it. I usually start with the backside because that's the type of guy I am. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll that front done, the bevel. That I can sort of feel where I'm hitting and let it travel flat along that blade edge. And when we come off it, it should be all polishy and pretty like that. Let's see if it cuts anything. I'm gonna have to move my back scratcher away for that. So I keep reaching for it as if it's a piece of scrap wood. This is a tiny little edge, so not much cutting surface, but if you can keep the blade on the paper, it cuts it. It just wants to slide down the blade and off. So, good stuff. See how it does on the white oak, which is what it's made out of. Look, same stuff. Big old good chunk of it. See what it does on itself. Look at that curl. So, works good on a good hardwood. Look at that curl. This is more white oak. I was trying to get it to curl all the way up the edge, but I didn't do it. I did get that little bit. I don't know if you can see it. But it's plenty sharp is the point that I'm making here. Plenty sharp. And it's going to be a nice scoring knife, nice scribe knife. Super tight and accurate. Happy for that. 77 likes. Y'all are my favorites. I rock with you big time. 2 hours, I appreciate that. The broadheads on my arrows were just as sharp. Oh, really? Small woodlot. Dope. Oh, snap. It's Pat's birthday? Yeah, once it's sharp, just strop it. Good to go. Since I've started stropping, I sharpen maybe a quarter of the time, maybe even less. Peter, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you in here. Pat, you make arrows too, man? That sounds cool, bro. I'm over here making back scratchers. You making arrows? Shout outs to Pat. Parlado's got a channel in this place too if you guys are interested. 58 today. Yes, Pat. Yes, brother. I feel like y'all are in a, like I disappeared for a second. I hit that spot on my back. I was like, y'all just melted away into nothingness. That was wonderful. But check it. I need to grab some lunch. How did you know about my channel, Wes? Ah, Parlado. Let's think. It was right before your wife had gone into her transplant surgery for her kidney, I believe. Right around then. And I can't remember if I saw you in Calvin's feed or I saw you in mine, but I'm not sure. But I do remember very distinctly you and your wife together in the shop. And I was like, that's nice. But I absolutely was like, oh my God, I couldn't do that at all, though. I could not have me and my wife in the shop together. But I admired that. And then I started watching your channel from that. I think that was the thing that motivated me. Pat also is the first time I saw Pat's channel was live with his daughter, and they were side by side doing some carving, and I thought that was amazing. Bellato said she didn't think being in the shop was nice. I'm, I'm sorry, but it was fun to see. It really was. My wife asked me about a series like that. She was like, maybe you do some stuff and you teach me live and show people how to. And I was like, babe, that's a tough task. Ooh. Because I'm not a great teacher, if I'm being honest. I was just teasing with my question, but thanks for the sincere response. Oh, yeah, man. For sure, Pilato. I think I'm going to go ahead and take me a little lunch breaky break. See if I can get something in my system other than, you know, aromatics and coffee. But I will be back. We made one thing today. We will continue this trend throughout the day. And I'll be back with you. I'm proud of this. I'm happy about it. We'll make a larger version. I'm thinking a knife, a carving knife, but with a better handle than this. And I don't know. I'm probably going to truthfully go look at Lion's channel and examine some of the lives where he's carving. He's got a bigger sort of version of this. And I'm going to look at it and see if I can figure out the ergonomics of it. See what else I can come up with. Pez says, just get some sawdust in your system. We try to have fun on camera at least. Well, you guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me for the time that you did. And I'm sure we'll do it again soon, like in a couple hours. But for now, I'm going to take something to eat, put it in my system, and contemplate the fine-tunery that is multi-use toolage. And I'll see y'all when I come back, if you come back. Till then, peace. Check out my shorts and any other past lives if you want to see some stuff. So what was that, drilled in epoxy or split in epoxy? Drilled with a really narrow drill bit until I made a slot with it. And then I was able to tack them in and get it all good. Pilato says, saw the back scratcher short. Yep, we built that live yesterday. And it's now my favorite thing. It just is so convenient. Because, you know, I got short arms. My wife be busy sometimes during the day. Weird. So, now I just got to get one of these that'll, you know, if I get two of them that can just roll something up for me and just take a little, you know what I'm saying? See y'all later. How dare she be busy? It's so disrespectful, Pilato. I don't even understand. But I'm going to get up out of here. Again, happy birthday to you, Pat. Shouts out to him. If you back here when we come back on, man, please post your channel. Let's try to see if we can get you a couple new subscribers. You know, 2 or 3 more today, if we can. So go check Pat out if you would. That would be dope. Oh, snap. There go Calvin in the building. What up, man? Hope your live went well today. We saw you on a little bit earlier. I might have to go back and check that one out and see what you did over there. But we're going to get out for now and get some lunch. And we'll see you afterwards. Man, I be looking old in these glasses. It's creepy to me. I'll glance up and be like, ugh. I'm getting used to it, though. But I'm gone. Y'all be good. Wes does it. Peace.